Okay, so for the false arrest that I had, like the 20 something false arrest, they only can my mental health, my mental clarity. I didn't understand because I was out at the bus stop because I have false arrest. I communicated that with legal aid.
Which one are you calling the false arrest? The one in Tarrant County, the trespass? Is that the one you're
Right.
calling the false
I
arrest?
have 20 of them. I communicated that with legal aid. And I don't get
I
a
have
lot of my calls. And then when I do get calls, you made it seem like when you said something about my mental health, they need something about my mental health. What did you say about my mental health earlier?
Okay, so the way it works is I can look up charges in Tarrant County,
What
right?
did you say about my mental health
But
earlier, ma'am, when I was on the bus? I couldn't quite hear you.
that would be the one for. Give me one second. Let me
Okay.
see.
Because I told the representatives they did not be my constitutional right to go to court. I didn't have an attorney or judge.
Okay,
And they
so
put me in
if you're trying
isolation.
to like the criminal charge itself, so we don't do criminal law, right? Because we just don't like by funding, we don't. We only do civil cases. We can do a non-disclosure or an expungement when it's eligible
But you
because it's
said
not
something
really.
about my mental health, and then you said that something like it was my fault, and I told them that it was false arrest.
No, no, no. No one's blaming you. I'm just trying to tell you what to do about those. So if
Okay.
you're saying that it was false arrest, that you didn't have an attorney, and this didn't happen, or whatever that happened with the criminal case, then yeah, you just need to speak with a criminal attorney about that case. I'm just letting you know which ones are eligible for non-disclosure. So when you came to us for help, I'm in Tarrant County. I can only see the charge in Tarrant County,
Well,
right?
the
So
one for Tarrant County, I that was a criminal trespass when I was leaving, so that wasn't really a legitimate charge.
okay. Again, I
They
can't deal with the actual criminal charge because we don't do criminal law. You'd have to get a criminal attorney. But if
I
the
don't.
question is, when your case is sent it over, just one second, please. When your caseworker sent it over saying that you were needing help with that, it's to see if it's eligible for a non-disclosure or an expungement, meaning like how can we help you seal it so that people can't see it, right? So in looking at that, the way it is right now, the way it was closed out, the way it was charged, the one in Tarrant County is eligible in 2025. So 2 years after it was closed out, there's a waiting period by statute that it would then be eligible. So that
Right,
one
but
you
what were
can
you saying
certainly.
about my mental health earlier? You said that providing something that the court said something about my mental health.
No, I said the one in Denton County. I'll go ahead and pull that. Give me one
No, no,
second.
you said something about my mental health earlier. No, you said something about my mental health. That's what I'm questioning.
One second, I'm trying to
No,
help you. I'm
not
not
Denton
going back and
County. That's not what I'm
go back to
questioning.
see.
I'm not questioning Denton County. I'm questioning the one in Tarrant County. You said something about my mental health
Okay,
earlier.
second, I'll pull it up. You called me in the middle of the meeting, right? I have to go back. Like, I don't memorize everybody's criminal list. So just one second. We're not debating or going back and forth. Like, that's not the issue. We're trying to help. But just one second, I'll pull it up and I can email it to you so you can take a look. Just one second. The one for Taryn. Give me a second.
See, the problem, ma'am, is I don't get a lot of my phone calls. And then when I finally do get a call, it's like most parties are covering for my experience. So I don't get anything resolved with corrupt police. So all the legal aids and all the parties that I speak with cannot help me when it comes to these corrupt police for 5 years. So they tell me that if they covering for it, like you said, something about my if I my mental status is okay, something I thought whatever you said, but like I said, I
No,
really
not
couldn't
what I
hear
said.
you.
You didn't hear me properly, so please don't misquote or misquote what I
Okay, well
said. That's
then
not what I said.
that's fine.
I
But
said
but
I'm going
here's
to
the
email this to you. So this is just one second, please. This is the criminal list from Tarrant County. So when I was looking at it, so it was charged as criminal trespass, right? So then this was charged November of 2022. And then what I said was, I think in the process there, it says they had ordered some kind of like psychological review or something. So it shows psych review 11/11/2022. And then they closed it out, and then they closed out the case. So I said this particular case, because you didn't do any jail time, no diversion programs, none of that. this one for Tarrant County that was closed out in March 20th of 2023 would be eligible. So this the Tarrant County case is eligible for non-disclosure in 2 years, as long as nothing happens during that waiting period.
Right, but
That's
what?
I would say.
But
I was
ma'am,
just
what
going
I'm
through the sequence of events. I don't know anything about your mental health. I'm just reading what's on here,
okay.
what they ordered, what they reviewed, what they closed. So nothing. I'm not. I know nothing about your mental health. I'm just reading this one piece of
Okay.
paper.
Well,
So
see
this
what
one
the
would be eligible.
okay. So for years, no one has been able to, no one has, period, has been able to, when I get the phone call to help me combat
Perhaps
problems that
you're
I have with the
asking the
police
wrong
department in
people,
their
right?
lives.
Like the only person
I
that
don't
can
know
go
why
back
people
and
keep talking,
reopen your
especially when I talk
case
about the
would be
police.
a
The
criminal
same pattern,
attorney.
ma'am.
Legal does not do criminal law. So if you keep asking legal aid, you're not going to get help because we don't do criminal
Even when
law.
the legal aid line that give advice, they still wouldn't help me. I've tried to hire attorneys and they did the same thing. I don't get
Well,
my
that's
calls. Everyone that I talk to on my
I
phone has the same pattern that you're having, talking while I'm talking.
Well, I would love to just sit here and go back and forth with you. That the two here are not eligible. It's this one not till 2025. The ones in Dallas that were dismissed, they are eligible. We can transfer those ones to a Dallas attorney, the legal aid in Dallas, and they can help you out with those charges.
The one in Denton that was supposed to be a misdemeanor that's listed as a felony.
That's not eligible by statute.
Why is
No
that
one can
not?
do
Because it was supposed to be a misdemeanor. How did it turn into a felony? I called them and they said they didn't know. That this is
criminal
the
attorney
strange
to
things
help
that
you out with
happen.
that, or someone who does criminal law.
Okay,
If you
so
have
the
to,
one that's supposed
if
to
I
be a
was
misdemeanor that has listed as a felony. Another
you need to talk
glitch.
to a criminal attorney that handles criminal law. We don't do criminal law. I would be giving you bad advice if I was talking to you about criminal law, right? So you need to talk to someone who does criminal law, or whoever you were assigned or appointed to when you were charged with that case. You were probably assigned an attorney. If you can afford one, or maybe you retain someone, so you would need to talk to that person or find someone who does practice criminal law.
I've been trying to find someone years, ma'am. My experience is really incredible. I went to attorneys. I've driven far away and spoke with attorneys. They backed out. I'm trying to tell you my experience, ma'am. I don't know why my calls for you have to see it to believe it. You really have to see it to believe it to know what I experience. People are so strange that I talk to on my phone.
Okay. I think we're saying the same thing over and over again.
I
It's
don't
not
know,
something that
ma'am. I think that someone is doing something that they shouldn't be to people that call me.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do what we can from our end, which is to help you with the ones in Dallas to see if someone can help non-disclose those charges. So we'll transfer it over. All the other questions that you're asking me about the underlying criminal charge.
No one is. I think the police need to rack up the charges they've earned. No one has a right to sabotage my life and keep getting away with it year after year, ma'am. I'm just trying to build up enough evidence to expose that. But anyway, okay, ma'am.
But it's not anything that I can do.
I don't know. I don't only get my calls that are controlled, ma'am. I'm just trying to give enough evidence to expose that. All my calls that I'm able to get are strange.
Okay, I don't want to be rude, but I'm going to go back into the meeting because we're repeating ourselves and talking over each other and saying the same thing.
I don't think that shouldn't happen if you know I have 20-something false arrests, ma'am. I don't know why you would be that way. That's odd.
Have a blessed day.
I don't. Do you run into a lot of people with 20 false arrests?